This is the solution to question 3 on worksheet problem solving number 3. In this problem, we're asked to simplify the sum of two radicals. So let's begin by simplifying the square root of negative 3/2. I'm going to begin by removing the negative out from under the radical and rewriting that with the imaginary number I. And then I'm going to split the quotient 3/2 and rewrite it as the square root of 3 over the square root of 2. And then we'll work on the second radical. We'll pull the negative out from under the radical as I, and then rewrite the square root of 2/3 under the radical as the square root of 2 over the square root of 3. Now we need to add fractions. In order to add fractions, we need a common denominator. The least common denominator for this particular problem is the square root of 2 from the first term and the times the square root of 3 from the second term, which is the square root of 6. And then we're going to multiply each one of these fractions by a funny form of 1. So the first fraction we're going to multiply by rad 3 over rad 3. And the second fraction we're going to multiply by a different funny form of 1, which will be rad 2 over rad 2. Now we're going to simplify each of these fractions. So looking at the numerator of the first fraction, we've got I times rad 3 times rad 3, which is going to be 3I, because rad 3 times rad 3 is 3. And then the denominator is going to be the square root of 6. The second fraction, we have the numerator is I times rad 2 times rad 2, which will be 2I over rad 6. And now to add these fractions, we have a common denominator. We have 3I over rad 6 plus 5I over 2, plus 2I over rad 6, which is going to be 5I over rad 6. And then technically, we should probably write that as 5 over rad 6 times I. And then we need to rationalize the denominator here. So we need to multiply our fraction here by rad 6 over rad 6 to get that rad 6 out of the denominator. So we're going to have 5 rad 6 over 6 times I. That's our solution.